Hello, and welcome to Stock Takes with Katana. This podcast is focused on growth strategies, tips on efficiency, and how to run a business if you're dealing with inventory. Today we have Shawn, head of channel partnerships at Katana. Shawn has over 15 years of experience in manufacturing, inventory, and helping partners whose clients also work with physical inventory. But I'll let you do the intro yourself. I'm sure you have plenty to say.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it, Sarah. It's nice to be here in Estonia, having our company event and having an opportunity to talk to the audience around technology. I've been in the manufacturing space, like you said, for 15 years, and started out, working at a company called Molding and Millwork. It's a manufacturing and distribution company, and it's interesting. My manager at the time, Rich Huseman, who was a black belt in lean manufacturing, really instilled sort of process efficiency and education around that in me, and coming to Katana, which sort of is a throwback to a Japanese tradition and the samurai sword, but also a Japanese tradition in lean manufacturing, where lean manufacturing was born. So over the past 15 years, have been working at manufacturing companies, implementing ERP solutions, as well as on the sales side, and now at Katana, helping our partners and our customers have success together in utilizing technology to find that efficiency.
Mm-hmm. So what was the turning point for you in your career when you started to understand the value of technology and software?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, the turning point in my career was actually with my dad. So my dad has a plumbing company, and I remember every Friday evening or afternoon, my dad would sit down and do his manual payroll for all his employees, physically writing out his payroll. And in that, he would be doing that through dinner often. And so while he was doing that, and I was starting to work at Molding and Millwork, we looked at what technology he was using for accounting. And I was like, there's got to be a software that can make this easier. And lo and behold, he actually started utilizing QuickBooks and QuickBooks Payroll to support that. And all of a sudden, on those Friday afternoons where he would have been doing paperwork, he was actually just hanging out with us and sort of seeing how utilizing technology can actually free up a business owner to spend some more time with their family was pretty cool, and got me interested in how maybe I can help other business owners achieve that.
And so what do you see from, our partners and their clients, and also the clients that you have worked with and the business you have worked with? What are the pain points or the kind of turning points where they realize that they can actually leverage technology to do exactly that?
Yeah, I think businesses go through different stages in their growth as they evolve as a company, and through that scaling of the business, they start to uncover challenges. So, for example, a business going from 1 million in annual revenue to 5 million in annual revenue over a short period of time is going to go through some challenging situations, and realize that the processes that they had in place at 1 million in annual revenue are not necessarily going to work when they're at 5 million in annual revenue. And they start to realize that the ability to scale is going to be hindered based on how they're currently doing things and the technology that they're utilizing. And so businesses need to start to look at what are the bottlenecks within that organization from a process and technology perspective, and try and solve those challenges or pain points by identifying the right solutions in the market today to enable them to continue to grow.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any personal experience earlier in your career where you saw the benefit of tech firsthand?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mentioned Molding and Millwork earlier on, and at the end of every day, we would print out all of our orders through this sort of old school printer. You've got like the white and the pink paper, and we'd print out all the orders that came in that needed to be picked, and they would be picked the following morning. So it was a job that me and the production manager, Corey, would go through at the end of the day, and we'd print out all the orders, rip them manually, and then we'd organize them based on priority, like what trucks are going out first, and make sure that those orders were on the top of the list. So it's quite a manual process. And Rich Huseman, who I had mentioned earlier, said, I think we can make this process a little bit more lean. And so we came up with a couple different ideas, because his objective there was actually, how do we do same day shipment? So if someone puts in an order in the morning, how do we get that out in the afternoon? And so in order to achieve that objective, we came up with a couple different ideas. One was like, well, what if we just did this twice a day, right? We printed off the orders in the afternoon, and we actually did that for a little bit. But then we had the idea of, what if we didn't print out the orders? What if we just had the orders in an Excel document, organized them there, and then printed them out once they were organized and ready to go? And we could even print them out when we were ready to start picking it. And we completely digitized that sort of process, and no longer at the end of every day for 2 hours are me and the production manager printing out and organizing manual paperwork. We digitized that process, created a lot more efficiency, and we achieved our objective. We were now able to fulfill orders on a daily basis. So that's an example of how you can utilize technology and look at a process and ask yourself, is this process efficient? Is it even required? And how can we, reach a certain objective from a business perspective?
Mm-hmm. I think it's a generally acknowledged thing that tech can help, and a lot of companies do kind of go through the process. They find a solution, they implement it, but things still go wrong. So what is your experience in seeing that, and why do you see that happening?
Yeah, certainly. In any implementation that is going on with technology and adoption of technology, you're going to go through some challenges, because change is hard. Human beings naturally don't necessarily love change. And so you're going to reach challenges because maybe processes need to change. The one thing you often hear, we've always done it that way, right? That might come up. And so those are things that are going to arrive, and knowing ahead of time that you are going to face challenges is something that you should realize when you're sort of embarking on a change within a business, whether it be through process or through technology, or maybe both. So acknowledging that challenges are going to come up ahead of time will help you prepare for them properly. And how do you prepare for them properly? I think you look at, what are other businesses doing in the market today, and taking sort of use cases from those businesses and best practices and implementing those. And where do you find that knowledge? That's through usually a partner, someone that does that for a living. They're a business consultant that specializes maybe in the technology that you're looking to implement, and can help you implement best practices across your organization and solve those challenges that you're inevitably going to run into when you're trying to change and enable your business to continue to grow and scale.
Mm-hmm. So with buying software, a lot of companies acknowledge it, like digital transformation is something that I think small businesses even accept right now. And then let's say they go out, they purchase the software, but the problem persists. Why is it that you see that happening, especially with, our partners and their clients, and in your experience?
Yeah, one of the most common situations that you see with businesses that are adopting technology, there's sort of two aspects that often come up. One is data, and the other is integrations. So when you think of data, often businesses have data in some sort of format, from their current structure or tech stack. It might be in Excel, it might be in some older ERP system, it might be on pen and paper. But transferring that data into the new technology that you're looking to utilize is a challenge. Once you get the data in there and it's properly sorted, if the software is user-friendly and intuitive, the end user really isn't going to challenge or be challenged too much in utilizing the solution. It's really, does the data actually, is the data accurate and represent how the business operates? And so if you can get the data set up in the system correctly, that's a major pain point that you can solve for. The other aspect is integrations, right? When you think of businesses today as they scale and grow, they are utilizing technology to enable that growth. You think of a small business or an owner today, they might be traditionally a B2B manufacturing company, but they want to start going direct to consumer, and they're going to utilize Shopify, Amazon, Etsy, and a host of other direct to consumer e-commerce tools to get there. And now they're selling globally and they've tripled their sales. But with that added revenue and scaling brings complexity to that business. So you can imagine now for an implementation with solving that scaling problem and utilizing that technology is how do we integrate all that information and technology together to enable the business to action it, fulfill the orders, and make better decisions. And so that's where those two pain points arrive really is looking at getting your data accurate and then getting the system integrated into the technology stack that a business is utilizing. And if you can solve those two aspects, the rest can fall into place with proper support and training. And I think a business will find that they're most often successful if you can focus on those two key areas, because those are where things often fall apart.
Mm-hmm. And especially when things get a little more complex, when is the point where a business should actually consider getting external support?
That's a great question. If it's a straightforward technology, it's like an app on Shopify, that you can kind of get up and running relatively quickly, and it's a sort of a single instance of technology that you're implementing at a business. Often you can do that on your own. Or even, if we look at Katana, we do have onboarding support and services. And if they're just implementing Katana, we certainly can help and support. And we have thousands of clients that have done that on their own. But as you move to small and mid-sized businesses, that have more employees and more technology, that's where a partner might come into play. When you think of a technology stack, so a business is scaling, they're growing, they have these challenges. We've got HubSpot, a CRM system that we want to integrate into. We've got Shopify for our online sales channel. We need an inventory solution to get up and running and pull in those orders accurately. We've got a shipping product and ship to, and then we've got to roll that all into our accounting system and QuickBooks Online. Well, now you're implementing an entire tech stack. And so for a business to look at doing that on their own, well, there's quite a bit of complexity in those integrations as well as setting up that data. And that's where bringing in a partner and an expert to implement those best practices that we talked about earlier can really add a lot of value into your business and ensure that you set things up correctly and they're operating efficiently from the beginning, rather than sort of trying and failing and losing and getting discouraged from it, because 80% of implementations when done on their own for an ERP solution fail. So when you take that into consideration, bringing in some expertise to help support that implementation can really set you up for success.
Mm-hmm. Considering that we're in uncertain times, and I mean, even when the economy is booming, running a small to medium-sized business is difficult. It's not the most predictable line of work. There are a lot of factors. What is the role of financial accuracy in all of this, and how do businesses manage things right now, and where is there room for improvement?
Totally. It's a great question, because when you look at business owners traditionally, and especially businesses that manufacture and manage inventory, often the business owner is making decisions based on outdated information, and their financials are actually only accurate once a month. And that's at the end of the month after they've gone in and their accountants kind of had their books moved to being accurate and done all the journal entries. And that's where they actually also identify how profitable they are. And they can't kind of pinpoint that profitability at a detail level. And so data accuracy is important, absolutely, but also frequency of that accuracy is important. And so that's where you get into this aspect or concept of real-time data. Real-time data for real-time decision-making. A business owner doesn't make a decision once a month or even once a day. A business owner is making those decisions at any moment in time. When you think of a fast scaling, growing business that's trying and testing new products, new categories, new sales channels, you need that feedback in real time of what's profitable, what's selling, where do I need to invest more resources, where do I need to pull back? And without accurate financial information to help make those decisions, it really doesn't enable the business owner to make the best decisions, right? They're making decisions without having all the information. And that's a scary thought for a lot of business owners. And then you think of expertise in the market. We're hearing quite often the fastest growing channel for accounting firms within accounting firms businesses is their CAS department, their customer advisory service department. And often I hear with the customer advisory service departments, they spend a lot of their time just getting the books accurate at the end of the month, right? Taking the information and what's gone on and making sure that the financial situation is accurate at the end of the month. And that isn't the best utilization of that individual's financial acumen, right? So how do we transition that person from just getting the books accurate and the information accurate so the business owner can make those decisions, which is great. They are adding value in doing that. But certainly with today's technology, we can automate that so that that individual is now working off of live real-time data as well with the owner. And they're making strategic decisions about the business together and really adding a ton of value and enabling that business to grow and scale profitably. So that's really, some ways that a business can consider getting their financial information accurate so that they can make better decisions in real time.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to accountants and kind of scaling their offering to include those CAS services, what do you see them struggling with most, and what's some advice that you can give them?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's one is there is a lot of options in the market, right? For example, inventory. Well, there's hundreds of inventory solutions on the, Intuit or QuickBooks App Store. How do they know which one is the right one? Geez, that's a daunting undertaking. And they're an accounting expert. They're not like an inventory software expert. And so I think there's a couple things that an accounting firm can do. One is look at their main financial package that they're partnered with. Often they have, a favorite, whether it be QuickBooks Online, Xero, whatever, what's the other one? Sage 100 or whatever it might be. And so they have a favorite financial solution and talk to a support person at that company about your client's challenges and ask, what is the inventory solution that you would recommend? Because they're going to know the one that supports them the best. They're going to know the ones that their clients are having success with. And so from that, you can help to identify, or at least a short list of solutions in the market that you can go and investigate. And then you can reach out to those inventory solutions if you'd like. I think that's a great idea because one of the most challenging things I hear from the CAS department is the support that they get from the different technology or inventory solutions in the market. The support, the ease of use just isn't there. And so one thing we focus on at Katana is helping those departments ensure that they have the support, the answers that they need to be successful in front of their clients. So yeah, it's working with the financial solution that you've partnered with in, say, QuickBooks Online, identifying what inventory or technology solution you're looking to solve for and what they would recommend, and then investigating those solutions further to help understand, hey, did they jump on a call with me? Were they able to explain how the software works and integrates and supports me? And then understanding, hey, what type of support do they offer me and my client? Because that's the number one thing that we hear is they don't have that support in place to ensure that they're successful.
So do you feel accounting firms are already transforming their approach to searching for software? Like, what are the shifting priorities? Kind of how are they looking at the landscape right now compared to, let's say, 10 years ago?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. And so one thing we're seeing certainly is the CAS department, right? It's the fastest growing revenue stream for accounting firms. And the interesting aspect about that is it's the fastest growing revenue stream with their existing client base. So they don't have to go and find new clients to extend their service offering and continue to grow their practice. And that's, one of the aspects why the CAS departments are growing. The other aspect of why the CAS departments are so important to a small business owner, and there's a ton of value there, is this rapid change in technology, right? As we move from desktop products that offered a wider range of solutions, but were really challenging to integrate into other technology, to best of breed SaaS-based solutions, it allowed the accountant to offer a best-in-class financial product in, say, QuickBooks Online, and then the technology that that business owner might require to help support them. And that's where the CAS department adds a ton of value, not only for their own business, but also their client's business, in providing that, right fit technology to enable the business to continue to scale and grow with the best technology and resources that will help them to continue to do that.
Mm-hmm. Let's wrap up a little bit. Okay. We've covered a lot of things, all things tech, but what are you actually most excited about?
Yeah, I think when we look at, like I was just saying, around the advent of technology and the rapid pace at which it's growing, nothing I think will be more impactful than AI. And often I think business owners are looking at AI and saying, well, how do I even use that in my business? Where is it going to make an impact? And that's where I actually see, like, an accounting firm in that CAS practice being able to offer advisory services around where they can utilize AI to find efficiencies within the business. And so I really feel like AI, whether it be importing data into the software, like we talked about, from that pain point perspective, setting up integrations, that's where the technology, the AI adoption will create significant efficiency within small businesses and really enable them to compete against any other business in the market. Maybe it's an enterprise company as well that they're competing against. It really allows them to be way more efficient, adopt new technology much faster. And so, yeah, AI, I think, is going to be a game changer and something I'm extremely excited about.
Amazing. I think everyone is at this point. But thank you, Shawn. Very insightful as always.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Really appreciate you having me. It was a lot of fun. Great conversation.
Agreed.